This young Latina here, she's going to try to explain the level of regard the Latino people have for black people. I'll be back in the end with my commentary. Shout out to I Got Game for this content.
Unfortunately, I've been seeing a lot of discord recently in regards to the black community not believing that brown people are for them and will back them up. I'm here to let you know that that is just not true on my end. I want to say probably even on just California in general, most of us, especially Mexican, if you know that you're speaking to a Mexican person, because there are different people who are not just Mexican, FYI, the majority of Mexicans definitely stand up for black people. We, more than anyone in our Latino community, understand the struggles that you go through, understand the stereotypes that you guys go through. Unfortunately, we understand the police stuff that you guys go through. We just don't talk about it because, for some reason, Latinos feel like if we mention any hardships that we go through, that's us crying and begging for whatever it is that they think. But that's the older generation. That's not the millennials and people that are younger. So I'm here to just say those comments that I keep seeing is not true. Because if you are a black person, trust me, I will always have your back. I am always standing up for black people. That is just what I've been raised around. The neighborhoods I grew up were predominantly black. A lot of my friends that I have are predominantly black. So it sucks to see those type of comments because they are so false in my world. But I'm not disregarding some people who have come across racist Latinos, because clearly my community needs to do better because, again, remember, Mexicans mainly voted for Kamala Harris. A lot of the other ones did not. So which is why I say you can truly count on most Mexicans to be by your side. The others, I'm not in their world, but I feel like we can still say that in all of those groups, from Salvadoran to Honduran to Cuban to Venezuelan, like, there's just a list of Latinos. But I feel like I can say at least half of those people are definitely for you, especially because a lot of you guys don't understand that there are black Latinos, especially in Mexico. Did you guys know that Mexico was the main point of view to allow slaves to become free? We did not agree, we didn't believe in what the US was doing, meaning my country, my motherland. That's what I'm talking about. So I'm just here to let you know that you have a brown person that you can believe is by your side, that you can believe will have your back and will fight for you and will stand up and even possibly hold you high just to make sure that you are seen. Because I understand that black women right now, black women are like above everybody. And I see that, I know that, especially when you go down history. I may not be good with my dates, but I do know history. And I do know that when I read upon these things, there's always a black woman behind most of these movements. So, again, you're false if you believe that you think that every brown person is hateful, is racist, is a bigot. I'm here to tell you that you're wrong. You're wrong. There are some of us that are for you guys. There are those of us that are willing to fight your fight because alongside California black people have shown brown communities that together we are stronger, which is what when you hear in the marching chants, juntos unidos somos más fuertes, that's exactly what it translates to. Together we are stronger. So I hope that if you are somebody who believes that you are not backed up by a brown person, that you change your mind and that you see that there are people like myself and so many others that will have your back. Again, I was raised in a predominantly black neighborhood. The parents, the grandparents, pretty much raised me and taught me so much of the history that I do know. And I can also say that because of that, I'm having to work on not being so hateful against white people, because I know that since I've been little, it's been a very confusing thing. With the older generation, again, I do understand that some of them are racist because of the beliefs that were put in us in the countries that we were from. The countries that were raided by Spaniards, by the French, by whatever Caucasian white person that you see. They tried teaching a lot of people that white meant better, that white meant achievement, that white meant more power. And that is just not true. I cannot wait for the day where I start to see more black and brown people in the government. And I'm talking about those who actually grew up in hardships, because those people tend to not forget about us, forget about the real people. Because I do know that there are black and brown people, both, where they've been out of the game, they've been out of these hoods, and do not understand, and will blame us and our ghetto-ness. So, I just hope I'm able to change your mind. I hope I'm able to turn your comments into, okay, not all Latinos are for us, but there are some. There are at least, I would like for you to say that there are more so who will be by your side than not. Because, again, this might have something to do with my child as being black, but his father is black, and I make sure to teach him his history on that end as well as mine. So, yeah, no, a lot of you guys are wrong. Brown people definitely will be by your side, making sure that you're protected.
You know, this Latina girl here, she's very believable, and she sounds very genuine in what she's saying. And you wanna know what? I believe her. And comparing what she said with my lived experience, I would have to agree wholeheartedly. I grew up in a neighborhood full of black people, of course, and Latinos, Puerto Ricans, and Mexicans, okay? And as she said, yes, a lot of Mexican people, they will stand up for you, okay, when that time arises. Because they've been through the same struggles that we have been through, especially if you're coming from the hood. Now, she's coming from California. I really can't speak on that. I never been in California unless I was in the airport, right? So I don't know how the racism manifests itself over there in California. Other content creators such as O'Shea Duke Jackson, he comments on Sacramento, and he always comments about how Mexicans and blacks get along over there, okay? But that's it. That's all I know about how Mexicans get down in California. I have lived in Phoenix, Arizona, though. And in Phoenix, Arizona, okay, Mexicans do not get down with black people at all. You will be discriminated against openly by Los Vatos in Arizona. And you know, I lived in Phoenix for 6 months, and every day I left out of my apartment in Phoenix, Arizona, I would see a mean mug Mexican that's giving me that stiff face and look, I don't even want you here in this apartment complex. So what did I do? I avoided them. But they let it be known that they did not want black people in their apartment complex, okay? So that's what I know about how racism manifests itself in Phoenix, Arizona. But again, coming back to my hood, my childhood friends, okay? They were Mexicans, they were Puerto Ricans, and there were other black children. So I can say that in the Latino community, there is a huge group of Latinos. I want to say those who are born and legal in the USA, okay, who have been through the same struggles as black people in the hood. They will be there to support you because they've been there for the racial discrimination and the protests and the rioting and whatnot that we experience in our communities. But those other Latinos who are coming from overseas or across the border or coming from wherever else who have not had that shared experience, they do not come with the same level of cultural competency that the Latinos have who are born here in the USA. And we're sharing all of this when Latinos are out here protesting against ICE, refusing to be deported. Stand down, black people. This is not our fight. Let them Latinos figure that shit out for themselves. Hit the like button, subscribe, leave a comment, and share. CAC. I'm out.